Hi, welcome to the podcast The Crib. Indeed, in this podcast, the presentators Pablo Rodriguez, Daniel Perez, Rebecca Martinez, and Jerónimo Yarvides will be discussing about how is it to live on wars on sites that have wars going on actively. For example, Gaza, Israel, Palestine, and places like that. So keep tuning so you can know more about how is it to live on a war zone. So I saw a TikTok of a creator called Noah Elson, which lives in Israel, and she doesn't talk on the video, but she shows how is it like her night routine living in Israel, and she's uh acting fast, being quick, closing windows, shutting the curtains, and like covering all his windows and doors because Israel is in an active war with Palestine, so she's like scared and she is aware of the risk that it's on on her surroundings. So yeah. Also, she talks about the sirens that she can hear that refer to missile attacks nearby. So I think it is kind of scary and it is wrong that the world makes people forced to live this way because it is unfair for everyone to live like this due to wars, especially for kids because they don't have like a childhood because of wars and this stuff. So yeah, it's unfair. It is something that shouldn't be happening, and I think countries and governments should like really find a way to stop it.
I'm gonna talk about my news article that is of Voices from Ukraine. And I'm gonna focus on one text from this article that is from Tamara from Pyryatin. Pyryatin, a town impacted by the ongoing war, where air raid sirens are a daily occurrence and the community has adapted to the challenges of conflict. Despite being a transit zone for displaced persons, the town prioritized safety through training initiatives led by the Center of Civilians in Conflict. Residents, including Deputy Mayor Tamara Kovalenko, have learned about mine safety and coping mechanisms. Tamara, a long-time resident despite not being originally from Priatan, chose to stay and help her community instead of fleeing when the war began. She and others have organized safety drills to prepare for emergencies, emphasizing the importance of resilience in the face of ongoing threats.
Now I will talk about my news article that was published in the Israeli Information Center for Human Rights in the occupied territories. This article talks about the situation in Gaza, that is a complex humanitarian conflict with multiple causes and also consequences. Israel's imposition of blockades, along with the actions of Palestinian armed groups such as Hamas. The civilian population of Gaza suffers the consequences of this violence with shortages of drinking water, food, medicine, and also electricity. It is essential that the international community exert pressure to achieve a peaceful and lasting solution, which gives them the human rights that they should have of all involved and allows the reconstruction of Gaza.
Now, when comparing both perspectives, we can see that TikTok appeals more to emotions. It makes us feel close to the people who are expecting this conflict. On the other hand, the news gives us a more complete and detailed vision of the panorama, but in a more objective and less emotional tone. Both approaches are useful, but to understand a conflict very well, we need to balance emotions with detailed information. This way, we can connect personally with those affected, but also we can understand the causes and consequences of what is happening. In conclusion, we can reflect that this activity allows us to understand how different platforms and sources can shape our perception of an armed conflict. In the case of TikTok, we notice that they focus on personal and emotional stories, seeking to quickly connect with the public, but then they often lack a deeper context. News articles, on the both hands, attempt to be more objective and more verifiable facts, although they are not free from bias depending on their sources. First-hand accounts give us a personal and subjective view of the conflict, but they do not allow include the full picture. Despite differences, all approaches share common themes such as forced displacement, human loss, damage to essential service, and the psychological trauma suffered by affected people. Each sources present a different perspective, but by combining these views, we can obtain a more complete and nuanced understanding of the situation. Thank you for joining us in this analysis. We hope it has been useful for you to reflect on how we consume information today.